So let's take a look at our 3 games, starting with the Rangers at the Pittsburgh Penguins. Puck drop 7 o'clock Eastern Time, 4 o'clock Pacific. Game 6 from Pittsburgh. Rangers own a 3-2 lead in the series. And although this series is leaning in the Rangers' direction, the Rangers have lost 7 of 8 in Pittsburgh. So let's see how tonight's game works out. The number on tonight, on this game, the Rangers minus 125, 6.5 under, minus 15. This number did open minus $1.30, so we've seen some money come in on the Penguins, in addition to the public absolutely pounding the over in this one, which is expected. Listed goaltenders, Shesterkin and Domingue for the Rangers and Pittsburgh tonight. The elephant in the room, though, guys, is certainly the health of Sidney Crosby and whether or not he's going to be able to play tonight. And this number clearly, I asked a sportsbook director yesterday, and he agreed with me that clearly this number is indicating that they don't expect Sidney Crosby to play tonight. And honestly, I don't either. I can't see this number being what it is if Sidney Crosby is going to be in the lineup. And I think that the books are anticipating that as well. And we have a forward group for the Penguins that's already depleted because Rickard Rakell is out of the lineup. And it just goes back to when you take one of your top guys out of the lineup, there's a complete shuffle below him. And so when you take Crosby out of the lineup, everybody has to shuffle below him. And I guess what we're going to see tonight from Mike Sullivan's team is probably Jake Gensel on that top line. Evgeny Malkin is going to center. That's the obvious choice at this point. So it would be Gensel, Malkin, and Brian Rust on that top line for Pittsburgh. And of course, we talked about and many times about how this affects everybody below them. And now you have a second line of Danton Heinen and Edmund Rodriguez and Kapanen. The further you go down the line, the more you wonder, for me, where the scoring is going to come from. And the key to Pittsburgh tonight is going to be whether Rodriguez is going to be able to have some sort of chemistry with Kapanen. They've had that chemistry in the past, but whether or not they're able to find it on short notice is going to be another thing. Danton Heinen has been terrific in the postseason, so maybe there will be some scoring there, but I don't feel like I want to lean on that, or I can lean on that with my money. Obviously, speed is not going to be a problem with this line. Each one is very capable of getting behind the Ranger D-men, so that's not going to be a problem. But when you start calling up guys from your AHL affiliate in Scranton, they're calling up some size. I don't know how much of a part they're going to play in this game, but I really feel like this is a Penguins team that's a little depleted, and especially with Crosby on. That's not going out on a limb. It just feels like when Crosby's out of the lineup, there's nobody there to settle the game down when it starts getting out of hand. And I think that that's a real problem. And we know from the Rangers' standpoint, the one part about this series that they have had a ton of problems with, and that is staying with that Penguins top line. Well, with Crosby out of the lineup, that is a huge loss, and that goes without saying for sure. Without Crosby, there is if the Rangers get up, I just don't feel like there's anybody to lean on. And I know Malkin has played pretty well in the postseason. He's a point-a-game guy in this series. But, to me, you take Crosby out of the lineup, everybody else has to shuffle on short notice. And I think that's going to be a problem for the Penguins tonight. So let's take a look at tonight's official selection on the game. Rangers are 37-14 as a favorite. They are 64-27 as a road favorite. Yes, I am well aware that goes back a little ways. But just to give you a history of how they've done in the postseason and regular season in this situation, they're also 7-3 when they're playing on 1 day's rest. Pittsburgh has dropped 8 of 11 as an underdog, which means when Pittsburgh plays the better teams in the league, they are still unreliable at this point. We'll see what happens in the rest of this series. But I'm going to go and lay the $1.25 with the Rangers. I just think that the loss of Crosby is way too much for the Penguins to overcome. So we're going to go minus $1.25 with the Rangers.
Bye.